Good morning. It's October 31st, and this is To My Little Friends. Way back in the Watergate hearing, Senator Howard Baker asked the iconic question, what did the president know and when did he know it? And that simple question resonated in the hearings on the break-in at the Watergate Hotel by political operatives, and the question was about the knowledge of Richard Nixon about the break-in. It led to the resignation of Richard Nixon. Well, that very same question could be asked today, even in a different form. With regards to Hunter Biden, the president's son, and James Biden, the president's brother, the question could be phrased a bit differently. Quote, what must the president have known and how could he possibly have not known it? End quote. Now that we have a new speaker, and he's indicated that the investigation into the dealings of the Biden family, and yes, I said family, because it's not just Hunter Biden, but also involves James Biden and their distribution of monies to various members of the Biden family. Congressman Comer has continued his investigation, and as the famous movie line said, show me the money, or in this case, follow the money. Now, if you listen to the liberals in the media, they keep saying there's no direct evidence that Joe Biden knew or participated in any of his family's foreign business dealings. But if you recall, during the presidential debate, Joe Biden said unequivocally that his son did not make any money in China or anywhere else in the world. He then changed his response to something along the lines that he had never spoken to Hunter about his business dealings and had no knowledge of them. Of course, we later found out this was not exactly true either. Though through the investigations, it's become apparent that Joe Biden was lying when he said he knew nothing about his family's foreign business dealings. Eyewitnesses have testified that the president joined multiple phone calls and had multiple interactions, dinners resulting in cars and millions of dollars to his son and his son's business partners. Bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to the Biden family members and associates through various shell companies. The Treasury Department alone has more than 150 transactions involving the Biden family and other business associates that were flagged as suspicious activities by U.S. banks. That's just in the report by the banks and the Treasury. The dubious nature of these transactions triggered more than 170 suspicious activity reports from U.S. banks. These funds were deposited in 20 Biden family shell corporations, then distributed to as many as 9 different family members, including some of the President Biden's grandchildren. The scandal is not wild speculation. It's not a political vendetta or a crazy conspiracy theory. Based on evidence accumulated so far, the corruption appears to be real and extensive. Well, the critical question is whether Biden personally knew of and participated in this enterprise. Impeachment should turn on this question. Was the influence peddling scandal conducted without his knowledge and involvement? Just the illusion of access being sold by Biden family members? Or did he knowingly take part in turning influence peddling into bribery or solicitation? The latter warrants impeachment, the former does not. And the distribution of benefits to him personally or anyone else is irrelevant to whether bribery was committed. Biden and his defenders repeatedly claimed there is no evidence, no smoking gun that would implicate Joe Biden personally. This is a major change in strategy from the beginning where, as I mentioned before, Biden didn't know anything about his son or other family members' businesses, never spoke to them about it, and to his knowledge, never made any money from foreign sources. But the American public is not buying this claim, no matter how many times the liberals in the media repeat it. President Biden shows up in evidence quite often, in emails, in texts, at dinners, and elsewhere, with clients of the business, on international travel excursions with Hunter, in visits to the White House VP residence, golf outings, and elsewhere in the testimonies of whistleblowers, associates, and a big client, the Burisma executive who said he paid Joe Biden $5 million. In their WhatsApp group chat, Hunter and his associates freely talked about Joe Biden's, my chairman, behind-the-scenes involvement. Payments were sent to and threats to clients made from Biden's Delaware home. The most recently unearthed evidence appears to be a direct payment to the president, receiving only a quick laundering spin from his brother Jim. The president doesn't just give a perfunctory walk-on through performance, a cameo appearance. He's not in every scene, but he's the star of the show. And Jim Biden says, well, that was a loan repayment. Well, there should be bank records showing when the loan was made. Let's see it. And there's more and more evidence coming out because in today's world, emails, texts, and bank records do not disappear, even if you hit delete over and over. They're out there and can be retrieved. From Hunter's famous laptop, there's an email with a distribution on the take of a deal with a Chinese energy company. The email states, and I quote, 10 held by H for the big guy, end quote. Well, who do you think the big guy was? And then we have even more from the laptop. Do you think Hunter regrets not just trashing the computer and getting the new one? In texting his daughter, Hunter writes, quote, Don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half of your salary, unquote. Then you have the bank records that keep popping up. They show evidence of 9 Biden family members receiving money from foreign entities. These funds were being transferred from one of the 21 LLCs that Hunter Biden was involved with, and to this date, nobody has explained what these LLCs did to receive the payments they were getting from foreign entities. What business did they provide? What service did they provide? Finally, Joe Biden's plausible deniability falls apart to anyone not in the Biden camp. It's just too hard to believe he was ignorant of and uninvolved in the influence peddling conducted in his name that raked in many millions from different nations and entities over many years, and in which he was around in many ways and to which close family members were deeply involved. These facts crowd out reasonable doubt, Joe. I hate to say this, but your nose grows longer each day that you make these patently false statements that later have to be explained. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, hit the subscribe button, recommend it. If you have a comment, hey, go ahead and leave it.